Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Get Psychological podcast, your place to find a bridge between the world of therapy and your everyday lives. I'm Dr. Douglas Sedownik. I'm so excited to have here a really close brother, Payton Young. I know Payton about 6 years, and it looks like we are kind of like the odd couple where we've come from different communities, different values, different backgrounds, but we have a lot in common. I'm very interested in Payton's interest in God consciousness, the unconscious, issues related to therapy, being Black in America, racism, so many interesting topics. He's an important member and leader in his community, and he's just about to turn 25 in September. Whoa. We are also very excited about starting our own Patreon page where we're going to drop parts of our memoirs. Payton is an amazing writer. He writes right from the heart, very, very moving and poignant. So without further ado, I'd say welcome, Payton.
Hello.
We have a wide audience, and I think people would love to hear from you. And what is it like to be here? And maybe tell us a little bit what it's like to be a young Black man right now in your life, in this culture, in this community.
Well, first, I want to say that it's not easy um, being a Black man, being a minority anywhere, or
Right.
being of unpopular biases anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, whether you're Black, Hispanic, in your case, white and gay. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whether you're have like a certain religion. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Maybe certain beliefs are against um, certain religions, you know what I'm saying? So I think just living outside of this box that we're put in alone,
mm,
I don't think it's easy for anybody, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
I think it's a bit harder, especially with, you have the court system and law, you know what I'm saying? You have social media, which plays a big part in so everybody's social life, you know what I'm saying? So I think being able to cope with these things in the
mm,
best way and most healthy way possible, and finding the most healthy ways to go maneuver through these
mm,
obstacles is probably the best, thing that one should take from a podcast like me and you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Like you said, we
mm,
come from two completely opposite worlds.
mm,
We go places and people look at us like,
mm.
how do they even know each other?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
did this, what I'm saying, older white guy, Jewish white guy come across this young Black urban guy? How did they end up meshing? So I think that, our relationship and how we, work with our own traumas should be exploited to the world. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I think a lot of people can take what we've gone through and our own experiences and apply it to theirs, maybe, or maybe how they will apply it to their lives and
Hmm.
day-to-day life. That way they may not, judge somebody, you know what I'm saying? They can get a different understanding and perspective of life itself, you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
I like
And
what you're
it's not
saying. Right. Hmm.
black and white, things are, you never know what somebody's going through, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You
Yes.
never know what somebody went through in their past, and to dissect those things and maneuver through um, the traumas
Hmm.
and connect through trauma. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, me and you have connected through our traumas. We both have some fatherly trauma. You know what I'm saying? Both
Hmm.
of our fathers were quite aggressive. You know what I'm saying? We may have felt some type of way with our childhood, and that has in times more in the past, not really as of late, as to we
When we were
understand these.
younger. Hmm.
But, me and you used to get into it all the
Right.
time. You know what I'm saying? About very, simple things, but maybe to you it wasn't so simple because it brought back a flashback of, maybe what of an emotion that maybe your dad made you feel at the point, you know what I'm saying? So it came out in that moment or vice versa, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So again, our relationship has so many
Yeah.
different layers. But
Oh,
with a relationship with layers, with as many layers as it has, it gives more opportunity of those traumas to come out. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
It's
So
remarkable to have
it,
a black young person such as you making this connection that everybody has shit, but it's also very good to look at the particular. And then you're also saying you and I have actually learned how to work with our own father traumas. And
exactly.
that's just so interesting. And
I think a lot of people have, um, whether it be mother or father traumas, but that come out unconsciously to a lot of people,
mm,
in different situations and how they manage their life. Whether maybe how they if they take how somebody is saying something subjectively or objectively. You know what I'm saying? So how those emotions,
mhm.
the things are brought up, and how they can affect our day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? And that, one, little decision or one way of thinking, is so important, and how
Mhm.
to rewire and change that for the better. If that makes sense.
I think it's so refreshing for you to say that just in our day-to-day encounters with one another without being aware of it, our own unresolved trauma will going to come up and impact our relationship and our lives. And that could just happen like that. And you're talking about, I guess, becoming more, I don't know what, aware, more responsible about that.
In a sense that just happened to me an hour ago. You know what I'm saying, with my grandmother. What's going on in my life. You know what I'm saying? My mother, father, and grandmother died, this past year. And it's allowed me to grow. It's also allowed me to revise the way I live life and look at how the cycle has of trauma continues and how it
Hmm.
affects generations.
Hmm.
Thing. So,
I think it's
um,
important for everyone to know that that's just really intense what you just said, that you lost your major nuclear family in the last year, and that had a big impact on your consciousness.
yes. You know, they say, people have to go through big nuclear, like you just use nuclear things to be aware of certain moments in life. Um, and that was, one thing that happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I was able to look at how my dad's life was lived, how my mom's life was lived, how my grandmother's life was lived. They were lost between, 30 days apart,
Wow.
saying
Oof.
15 and to lose that amount of people so quickly, to be able to,
Hmm.
you know, trauma comes out when pressure comes in the world or when feelings and emotions arise.
Hmm.
So being able to try to find, you know, healthy coping skills, hoping healthy grieving skills, what I'm saying, is, a key, I think the key point, and how is, for me at least, can be lived going further. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So I can relate to people that have lost their mother, their father, or
Mhm.
their,
Right.
and everybody has lost for the most part, or will lose one of these people. It's just human life. You know what I'm saying? So being able to connect and feel those feelings that everybody feels, I think I think happened to me for a reason. You know what I'm saying? For me to be aware of these things and help
Hmm.
others. You know what I'm saying? Get clarity, get grief. That the unconscious works for a reason in life.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We go through things in life for a reason. Life had to smack me in the face. I needed to get grounded and realize um, what was real, what was fake, what was good energy to be around, what was negative energy, what
Hmm.
was better my future. You know what I'm saying? What was just sitting there, um, not helping or being healthy to one's life. You know what I'm saying? So in my
Wow.
sense, it was marijuana. You know what I'm saying? So I was been smoking marijuana for since I was 18 heavily. stomach issue that wasn't healthy. You saw it
Hmm.
wasn't healthy, So, between that and the law, I was facing the law. God smacked me in the face like, hey, dude, I'm trying to save your life physically, legally. This is the way to do it,
Well,
you know? So, in my sense, if marijuana was helping me, was not helping me, hurting me more than helping me. I was
right.
using it for a coping mechanism rather than, it's everything should be done in balance, and I wasn't doing it in balance. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I won't ever smoke weed again, because I
Mm,
will, but being able to maintain the balance of work hard, play hard,
mm,
and
right.
how it is beneficial, and if it will be beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
Remarkable what you're really saying, and it's really impressive. And you're saying a bunch of things. You're saying about how trauma is hidden, and then it arises, and that there are positive coping mechanisms, negative coping mechanisms. But you're also kind of saying that even though it was a cause of great tragedy, it had a very beneficial impact on you, like God almost smacked you to give you a wake-up call. And that's a very powerful way of interpreting that.
Um, Everything happens for a reason. A lot of people say it, but don't really mean it. You know what I'm saying? So being able to look at the bigger picture all the time, no matter when pressure or stress hits and in one moment is an important I think it's easy to get sucked in to the
Hmm.
next. It's so
Right.
easy to get sucked into what's happening at the moment
Hmm.
that people lose track of why might this be happening. And of course I didn't know in the moment. I just felt grief and felt hurt at the moment. Like, why am I losing this many people? Why did it happen so quickly? Why is my
Sure.
family staying apart rather than coming together? Um, I didn't understand that until, you know what I'm saying, I'd say a month or two ago, to be quite honest with you, when I
Hmm.
had to isolate myself
Hmm.
and I had to go gain my own consciousness and, you know what I'm saying, truly find myself. And not to say that I find myself all the way, 'cause I think we're finding ourselves every day.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think we've ever truly found ourselves um, while we're on this earth. I feel like every day we are finding, you know what I'm saying, finding what works for us, what doesn't work for us. Life, you never know what life's gonna throw at you.
Right.
So I don't think there's,
Very
you know,
modest. Hmm. Hmm.
I don't think there's one person that completely knows themselves. Now they might have 99%, but there's no way 100.
Right. I'm
Um,
sure we know about like them as much as of
human
an
brain,
ant.
human brain works so
So vast. Yeah.
exactly so quickly. So you know, I've been able to work on my fire flight, been able to work on my logical thinking. You know what I'm saying I've been able to be grounded and spiritual at the same time, not get too lost in the spiritual because I've been lost in the spiritual. You get lost in the what could be, but there's no answers there. They're just showing
Right.
you. They're just the unconscious is just showing you, showing me. Um, it's like a practice test or flashcards. They're not necessarily giving you the full answer, but
Yes,
they're going to
exactly. The flash. I love that image that you're giving a flashcard and you
I'm
have
saying
to interpret or sit with it or cook with it. Mm,
exactly.
mm,
Or, for instance, dreams, as you've also taught me, you know what I'm saying, are things or dreams aren't to be taken, so like, oh, I had this dream, that happened. This is
right.
what that
Like
happened.
literal, right? Like literal.
Not
Yeah.
literally.
Mm,
Oh, in my blast of spiritual awakening, I was taking these dreams so literal because I was so in the spiritual world, it wasn't grounding. You
wow.
know what I'm saying?
That's
Um,
profound. Yeah.
Being able to, for instance, when I was in the program and I went to program for that month or whatever, and I was getting these dreams, and I was like, man, these dreams are telling me to do this, that, and you're like, no, man, it's not exactly that. You know what I'm saying? So between the unconscious, God, and then being
Mm,
grounded and figuring out what I needed to do, you know what I'm saying?
mm,
Would stay in that program so that I can be free,
right.
so I can be here and not behind a jail cell.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, may I?
Go ahead. I
Smash it.
want to just warn everybody that you are opening up several volumes. We're going to have to come back a bunch of times because you're being so helpful. But Doug is on his way to see his mom in New York and has to get on a flight. So unfortunately, we're going to have to cut this in a few minutes. But it gives the viewers some food for
It gets
thought.
good. It gets good. For instance, I think to go back to your first question, is how it is to be a young black man and in this day and time. You know, uh, I am fighting the law right now in a time where I could have easily been not free. So to take advantage of the freedom and freedoms at this point is very important. You know what I'm saying? So take advantage of our freedoms as minorities. You know what I'm saying? Especially me being a minority with a record. I'm being open here because there's nothing to hide. So I think that it would also help others. You know what I'm saying? Who, no matter who would be watching or isn't watching. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody knows somebody that's a minority and or went through some things with the law. So, you know what I'm saying? Being able to shake the thought process and revamp it a little bit, just, try to open up a new thought pattern.
Thought
You know what I'm
pattern, a new possibility, a new
saying?
horizon.
New, look at life. I'm able to look at my life completely different.
That's
See
wonderful.
what works, see what doesn't work. You know, I obviously I'm going to make mistakes going forward, but being able to really be grounded in the thought process and the actions that I take on a day-to-day basis.
What's so important about this conversation, and we're going to have a bunch more of them, and what's so important about you as you're emerging is this purpose about wanting to connection with others and help other people and use your story as an example. And I think that is just so, I don't know, it's inspiring for me personally. And I
I,
think,
uh, I didn't know what the thing going into this, our first time doing it, but as I am just talking, it's getting more normal, more natural. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, you know, between both of our lives, what you've seen, what I've seen, that we can help a lot of different people.
oh, that's absolutely feel so certain about that. I mean, I knew that already about you, but there's something about just hearing you speak with me to others that's very affirming
Yeah.
of that aspect of you that I always knew you had.
It took me getting to a certain point, you know what I'm saying, to
Right.
station of comfortability was talking, and I've realized the more open you are, the more vulnerable you are in life, which is kind of the definition of therapy, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Be
Great
better life.
definition of therapy.
You know what I'm saying? So whether that be with your friend, spouse, you know what I'm saying, family members or whatever, we all bottle things up and hold it. So the whole point of this is to not only help ourselves but help others get to the point of comfortable vulnerability
Yes.
and feeling not and to feel safe. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we're creating a safe environment and that aura of letting people in our life a little bit, try and take advantage of the tools that we have, the tools that you have, the tools that I've learned that, what I'm saying, I can help younger generations, you know what I'm saying? The younger generation might look at you like, oh, who is this old white guy talking? So you can see both
Yes.
of us. I might watch that and see what, you know what I'm saying? So, um, bit yin and yang, you know,
Yes.
so a little bit of just teamwork here. But yeah,
That's wonderful. Oh my God. Well, I think that that was great for the first one, and you opened up so many different possibilities and you were very, very inspiring. So we're going to come back and have different iterations of this conversation. He is a character, everybody, and that's what's great about him. He has a lot of riz. So thank you so much. Thank you for giving our message of hope
no
and
problem.
resilience. And we'll come back. We'll talk some more soon. All right.